Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure Cisco Duo with external authentication methods in Microsoft Entra. Currently, if you're using Cisco Duo, you're likely using what's called custom controls to redirect your user logins to the Cisco Duo multi-factor experience, then redirect it back to their application once they've signed in. This is great for the user experience, but security-wise, there's no MFA claim held within that access token. This means other services like Conditional Access can't take advantage of the multi-factor authentication mechanisms built into Microsoft Entra. For this, the solution is to migrate to external authentication methods. Now, Cisco Duo and a couple of other identity providers support this out of the box now, so we're going to go right through that process. For this, I'm going to start in the Duo admin portal. I'm going to head over to Applications and click Protect an Application. Here, I can search for External Authentication Methods and click Protect. And the first step is to authorize Duo's multi-tenant application needed for external authentication methods into our tenant. So I'm going to click Authorize, and it's going to redirect me to the sign-in page. I need to approve some basic permissions, and then I can click Accept. And I'll now be redirected back to the admin portal. Once I'm here, the only thing I'm going to change with this application, and of course you can change this as much as you need to meet your business requirements, is a username normalization. And I'm going to click Save. Now I do need the information shown on the screen here. This is the client ID, the discovery endpoint, and also the app ID, which is the ID of the multi-tenant application that you just registered into your tenant. Now, once we have this information, we can head back over to Microsoft Entra. I'm going to expand protection and go down to authentication methods. Now I can click Add External Method, and it's currently in preview. If you do find any issues, make sure you report them to Microsoft, and hopefully they'll be dealt with by the time it goes into global availability or general availability. Now I'm going to grab the name and paste it into the name box, and the same with all the other values here. Now, as we've already granted the consent, admin consent shows as granted here. If you're using another provider, this may not be so, and you may be asked at this point to do your admin consent. I'm going to enable this method for all users, and I'm not going to change the scope of which it's targeted, and I'm going to click Save. Now we're almost there. The last thing we need to do is create a conditional access policy, and under protection I'm going to select conditional access, and I'm going to click on policies. As you can see, I have my existing custom control policy configured. I'm not going to change this yet. I'm going to turn it to report only after I create my new policy to make sure there's consistent coverage. The only caveat to that is users during the period where both policies are turned on will be prompted twice to authenticate to Duo. Although if you do it quite quickly, they're likely not going to be prompted. Now I'm going to click Add New Policy. I'm going to set the name. And to start, I'm going to assign it just to my single user. And you should do the same thing. Don't assign it to all users at once. I'm going to assign it to Bill and click Select. On the target resources, I'm going to make sure I have full coverage over my Microsoft estate. Next, under access controls, I'm just going to click Require Multi-Factor Authentication. And that's all I need to do. Now I can turn my policy on and click Create. Now it does take a few minutes to validate and process the change behind the scenes in Entra. So while it's doing this, I'm just going to take the time to turn my old policy on to report only. Now I'm going to pause the video and come back in just a moment. Okay, now I'm back. I've given it about 5 minutes to let the policies process behind the scenes. And we're going to test it out by signing in as Bill. So for this, I'm going to open a private window and go to office.com. and click Sign In. Now I can sign in as Bill and type in his password. That's always going to be required for the moment. And instead of immediately being redirected by a custom control, now I'm presented with the common MFA experience. So for this, I'm going to select Approve with Cisco Duo. But before I do, I just want to mention, if you do have the Authenticator app configured already, you'll be prompted to select either one. Now, External Authentication Methods isn't yet integrated into authentication strengths to allow us to force Cisco Duo over other approved MFA methods in Microsoft Entra, but it soon will be integrated. So I'll do another video on that when it's released. For now, I'm going to select Cisco Duo, and I'll be redirected to the common Duo experience. I'm on my mobile phone now. I'm going to click Approve. There I am. I'm immediately logged in and immediately redirected back to my application. So there we have it. That's how to migrate to external authentication methods with Cisco Duo. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next.